Becoming a teacher that God will be proud of. Becoming a special education teacher is a great platform for promoting the things that God values. When preparing to become a special education teacher, it's going to require a lot of training and a lot of patience. A special education teacher's duties appears to be doubled in workload, but it is very rewarding at the end. There is a high demand for special education teachers in the workforce, and there is also room for growth. Being a special education teacher can also promote things that God values through the scriptures. Becoming a special education teacher requires a lot of things, a lot of training and preparation. Most schools require a special education teacher to have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. Majority of colleges prefer that you have a master's degree. And you also must obtain a license from the state board in a particular state. The teacher will need to know how to accommodate. It is important, for them to have a college degree because of the different types of disabilities that the students may have. And the teacher needs to know how to accommodate those disabilities for those students. Many types of disabilities are speech and language impairment, visual and hearing impairment, autism, and that's just to name a few, emotional disturbance, orthopedic, and that's just to name a few of them. And some of those disabilities are going to be just mild to moderate impairments that those students will have. Some classes must be taken to become a special education teacher are educational psychology, legal issues in special education, strategy courses, math, reading, English, earth science, career strategies, self-awareness, and other educational courses. And the reason that the special education teacher has to take all of those courses because they may be teaching a variety of classes and they may be teaching different courses. And so they're not going to stay within that subject area like a general education teacher. Special education teachers' duties appear to be double in workload, but it is very rewarding. A special education teacher job is different from a general education teacher, and the reason for that is that the education teacher job consists of being a case manager of the student with a disability, and they also have to teach the regular curriculum, making sure the students' needs are met and providing information for career counseling and keeping up with the students' grades and their behaviors. This is also including conducting an IEP meeting. Now, an IEP meeting is an individual education program, and they conduct those meetings with the parent, with the general ed teacher, with the administrator, and sometimes with the supervisor of the special education department. The general education teacher only teaches a particular subject and does not have to prepare a large amount of paperwork for the IEP meetings or worry about being a case manager. Now, the IEP is designed to set goals for the students so they can become successful and to make progress towards achieving their goals. The special education teacher plans and teaches an appropriate curriculum that is geared towards the needs of the students. It is very challenging, but it is rewarding when you see that your special needs student has achieved their goals or they're preparing to graduate from high school. It's a challenging job, but everyone is capable of doing it if they just have a little patience with the job. There is also a high demand for a special education teacher in the workforce, and there's also room for growth. So you don't have to stay in that area. There's other departments that you can transfer to after teaching in the classroom for a while. The number of positions, according to the Occupational Outlook Handbook, for a special education teacher will increase for about 17% within the year of 2010 and the year of 2020. And also, many teachers' pay is going to increase, but normally the pay does not increase as much as we would like it to be. Many teachers become stressed also with the heavy workload and the emotional demands of the jobs, so they ought to leave their position that they're working in now and advance on to a higher level. position in the school, such as a supervisor in the special education department or as an administrator. Some actually go on to go and get their doctorate's degree, and they become a principal for the school, so they can better meet the new needs of the school by starting in the special education department. When the special education teacher does move on and advance, this does open up many positions in the special education department. Enrollment growth will increase due to the growth of children with disabilities and the laws that states that all children should receive the same amount of education no matter what their disability is. The pay range for a special education teacher is about $35,580 to about $54,810, and that is as of 2010. This was also stated in the occupational handbook, and that's in the 2012 through the 2013 edition of that book. So these are really statistics that are here now. Being an education teacher, we can promote things that God values through the scriptures and use the classroom as a platform to value human life, show compassion, passion, and promote peace. God values human life, even those with disabilities, and that's stated in Matthew 14:14. And Jesus says, when Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them and healed their sickness. And this is actually the New International Version from the Bible. This means that a special education teacher needs to have patience and compassion on their students and their students with disability, and understand the disability of the student as well. God also values our compassion for children, and this is stated in Matthew 18, verses 2 through 5. He called the child to him, and placed the child among them, and said, "Truly, I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever takes the lowest position of this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whosoever welcomes one with such a name welcomes me." This is saying that a special education teacher, we must welcome all children in the classroom. It doesn't make a difference what their disability is, but we as Christians and we as that special education teacher need to show compassion to each and every student, and we need to be equal in the treatment of each and every student when we're dealing with them in the classroom. God also values peace, and he hates interpersonal discord. He does not like when there is strife. And even though in the classroom there's strife among the teachers, there's strife among the students. And we find a scripture in Proverbs 16:32, and part A of that scripture, it says, "Be a patient person, then a warrior, one with self-control, than one who takes a city." And that's saying, becoming an education teacher, you will meet up with many challenges, but we will bring peace into the classroom. Being a special education teacher is a great platform for promoting peace, for promoting compassion, and for promoting Christ within the classroom by the things that we do and we say. And we need to all remember that, and we need to value these things just as God values those things as we read them in the Bible. Thank you.